Some hard truths coming out today out of the meeting with President Buhari, governors and some security chiefs. President Buhari says there is need to rejig things and hopes of new weapons coming on the way, but pleads for patience from Nigerians. And INEC says that it is now ready to conduct 12 by-elections after its review meeting today and made some decisions about Edo elections. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. Let's begin by telling you that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, today said that it is now ready to conduct 12 by-elections into positions that have now been vacant. The umpire had earlier postponed these elections due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but INEC says that it has reviewed its activities and it is ready to conduct those polls on the 31st of October 2020. We have some stories for you on our political roundup, and when we come back, we dig into the problems of security in Nigeria. It does look like President Buhari and security chiefs and some governors have realized the problem of Nigeria's security and the issues in the northeastern region of the country, but it does look like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We'll discuss that when we return from this break on Political Roundup.
The trial of a former Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Adoke, for fraud allegation has been stalled at the Federal High Court in Abuja. This is due to the failure of the prosecutor to serve the defendants with a proof of evidence and statement of witness. The trial has now been adjourned to Thursday, August the 13th. Mr. Adoke is one of those facing prosecution by the EFCC in connection with the Malibu oil scandal. And the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered substituted service of a suit seeking the disqualification of the APC's governorship candidate in the September 19th election in Edo State, Mr. Osage Ezeyamu, and his running mate, Audu Ganiyu. Justice Taiwo granting the plaintiff's application for substituted service in his ruling ordered that the defendants, Ezeyamu and Ganiyu, be served with the suit by pasting the court document and hearing notice for next sitting at their residences in Benin, the Edo State capital. The plaintiffs, who are also APC members, Momo Abdurazak and Zibiri Muizu, also asked the court to disqualify their party's candidates on the ground that Mr. Ganiyu gave false information to INEC to aid his qualification for the governorship election. The Inter-Party Advisory Council is kicking against calls for the postponement of the Edo governorship election on the account of the Court of Appeal's judgment reinstating some political parties deregistered by INEC. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the national chairman of IPAC, Dr. Leonard Nzewa, insists that election schedule and timelines must be adhered to in order not to waste taxpayers' resources and time.
The council disassociates itself with the call by our colleagues to stampede the commission to hurriedly release the deregistered political parties.
And the Kaduna State House of Assembly has suspended 3 of its members from all legislative activities for a period of 9 months over their connection with the fracas that occurred during the sit-in on June the 11th, 2020. The House approved the suspension of the 3 lawmakers at the resumption of today's sit-in of the Assembly after adopting the report of a committee that investigated the immediate and remote causes of the fracas that occurred during the sit-in on June the 11th and recommended their suspension.
So let's get to it, everyone. Perhaps one of the most important duty and job of any government is that of security. In the last 5 years, how would you as a citizen of Nigeria rate the Buhari government in terms of security based on the promise that was made? Remember 4 years ago, or thereabout 5 years ago now, when the president was inaugurated, he said that is going to tackle insecurity headlong, especially the issue of Boko Haram. So for the second day running, President Muhammadu Buhari continued his strategic meeting with stakeholders in the security sector. And today, he met with members of the Nigeria Governors Forum Security Council at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Others in attendance include the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the National Security Advisor, the Chief of Staff to the President, service chiefs and heads of other security agencies, governors that joined virtually are the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum Security Council and Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello, Senator Oduoye Diri of Bayelsa State, Borno State Governor Babangana Zulum, David Umahi of Ebonyi State, and the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Chief of Defense Staff, a representative of the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Naval Staff, Chief of Air Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and the Director General of the Department of State Services, National Intelligence Agency were also in attendance. Let's get you some information that came out of that meeting. Part of it is the fact that the president said that some weapons are coming in from Jordan, the United States, and China, and that when those weapons come, they will be manned by well-trained officers. The president and the stakeholders also discussed the fact that there is a lot of small weapons across the country, and where are these weapons coming from? There is also the call for synergy between the military and the local communities. Let's get talking, everyone. Where do we go from here with all of these truths that have come to the table? How can Nigeria surmount this insecurity challenge, which, according to some reports, that some of these insurgents are finding their way into the southern region of the country? I'm being joined on the program by a retired military officer, Air Commodore Abdullahi from our Abuja studio, and also we have Mr. Tanko Yunusa, who is the national chairman of the National Conscience Party and the head of Public Affairs Bureau of the NTF, and Mr. Femi Adesina, the media advisor to the president, joins us via Skype. Let's begin the conversation with Mr. Femi Adesina. Thank you so much, Mr. Adesina, for your time tonight. Where do we go from here, and how would you assess things from the standpoint of President Buhari? He said that there are a few problems anyways, but how does he feel that things have gone on the downward slope, or things just got bad at some point?
Thank you, and good evening, Nigerians. Yes, that's the one that happened today is the second security meeting within a space of 24 hours. Yesterday, the president met with governors of the Northeast region, and today he met with the security committee of the Governors Forum, drawn from the 6 geopolitical zones. The fact that these meetings are holding shows that, yes, there is a problem in the area of security, we all know it, but then there are strident attempts to solve those problems. The issues were discussed back and forth from different ramifications. And if there is one significant thing that happened, it is that it is now realized and understood that security is the duty of all, including security agencies, the military, the state governors, and the people. It was stressed today that the people need to be a crucial part of security, particularly at the local government level, at the ward level. It has to be a bottom-up situation with the people actively involved in terms of information sharing, and the military, the security agencies also need to step up their intelligence gathering.
So let me get to Air Commodore Darlington Abdullahi. As a retired military officer, we've seen things that have happened in the northeastern region of the country. At some point you think, oh, things are getting better. It got to the point that now we're seeing the attack on the convoy of Governor of Borno State. We've seen attacks in Kaduna State. And the reports also saying that we should brace up because there are reports of the coming or influx of these insurgents towards the southern region of the country. What do you think is at the heart of these latest attacks and these latest activities of these insurgents?
Thank you very much, Mr. Okinbalui. Well, there are so many things I will say. In the first place, I think we need to really understand the concept of security under the present dispensation. When I say security, I mean that everything about security does not surround the military or the security agencies alone. And that is exactly what we just heard. From the meeting of the president has just, had with the governors and the security chiefs, it has become clear that maybe we are getting very close to it. The failure of governance, particularly at the lower level, at the lower level, like the local governments, level, particularly has a lot to do with the kind of insecurity that we have been witnessing. A situation whereby the local governments do not exist. They were created in the first place to bring governance close to very close to the people. And where there is no governance at that level, then there is a problem. And I will say that people continually look at the military to solve all the problems, and that is a major fault there. Yes, the military needs to be well equipped. I'm happy we just talked about Mr. President just talked about gave us assurance about the arrival of military equipment, which will boost the efforts of the security agencies, not just the armed forces, the security agencies. And we must also realize that issues of internal security is something we need to look at very critically. Talking about the police in particular, the policing system, the Nigeria Police, the Civil Defense Corps, and others, working in synergy to ensure that we have a better situation with our internal security arrangement or the architecture, the performance at that level. It's very important. We need to free the armed forces from all the internal deployments that we've been having to enable them focus on the threats from the external environment. Talking about the borders, the porous borders, we've had this for so long, and it's worrisome that this situation has continued, the way it's been also for so many years.
All right. Just a moment.
Internal security arrangement needs to be addressed.
Let me bring Mr. Tanko Yunusa into the conversation. From the political leadership and governance point of view, the NCF, which you belong, Professor Patu Tomi and former Speaker Galu Naba yesterday, and yourself came out to say there needs to be a rising of patriots to the case of insecurity in the country. How would you assess the Buhari government in terms of security in the last 5 years, especially in the light of what has been happening?
Thank you very much, Sheung. I want to restate what you said earlier on. Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria stated clearly that the president or the head of state, as the case may be, will provide security for the lives and properties of Nigerians. That he has sworn to. Within the last 2008 to 2018, the sum of 6 trillion naira has been spent on security, particularly with reference to this government. Within 2015 to 2018, the sum of 1.3 trillion naira has been spent so far. And yet, the promises that were made earlier on to Nigerians during the campaign was that we will eradicate Boko Haram and provide security for Nigerians within 6 months. We are running forward now on the fast lane to 6 years. And would that tell you that we are doing fine? No, definitely not doing well at all. In fact, one of the rising cases, what really led to the complete downfall of the last regime was the issue of security. Nigerians don't feel safe even in their homes. Yes, let's assume that some of the barricades on the streets are off the street, but that has transformed directly into your homes, directly even to the president's house, directly into the president's state. You cannot imagine. People are being killed on daily basis, even to a point in which the ADC to the president was challenged. His own father was abducted right in front of his home, only to be rescued in Kano State. How bad can that be? Even in Katsina State, we've had instances where people are negotiating with bandits. Negotiation, that is not acceptable at all. Because of this particular worrisome situation, it has led to almost every state now or every zone now thinking of a regional security outfit. We have the outcome of the Amotekun in the southwest. We have Shege Kapasa in the north. We have Operation Lion work in the southeast. This is on a continuous basis, showing the situation is getting worse to a point in which all of us now are credible Nigerians coming out to challenge the status quo, that we are not happy with the situation.
All right.
And then we have demanded that for a long period of time, that the service chief has served their terms. They should be relieved of their duties, irrespective of whether news hours are coming. Is it now that we are thinking of coming out with arms? We have people complaining, this rank and file of the Nigerian army,
let's take it.
soldiers,
Alhaji Tanko, just a moment.
They have seen some of the people who have trained them on the other side of the aisle.
Alhaji Tanko, let's take a break.
And then we continue.
We need to take a break. Just a moment.
This is
we need to take a break. And when we come back, we dig more. We allow Mr. Femi Adesina to react to the fact that what Alhaji Tanko has said about the security situation in the country, the plight of the people in southern Kaduna, in the northeastern region of the country. Where do we go from here? Answers after the break. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get back to the conversation tonight. It's about the issue of security in Nigeria under the President Muhammadu Buhari administration. How are they addressing these issues? We told you earlier on that they touch on the issue of intelligence gathering, the issue of small weapons in the country. Where are these coming from? And also the synergy between the military, rank and file, and local communities. Those are the issues raised today. My partner tonight on the program, Air Commodore Darlington Abdullahi, a retired military officer from our Abuja studio, and also Alhaji Tanko Unisa, who is the head of Public Affairs Bureau of the NCF and the chairman of the Conscience Party. Mr. Femi Adesina is a special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity. He's speaking to us tonight from his home on Skype. Thank you so much, Mr. Adesina. If you would like to respond to some of the issues raised by Alhaji Tanko tonight, perhaps also react to the accusation and allegations being raised that there are some people, powerful forces in government who are backers of some of these insurgents. I'm very sure that you must have heard or seen some of those allegations.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank Muda for the thoughts he has shared with us. He has spoken professionally. I also thank Alhaji Tanko. He has spoken like a politician. But what I'll say is that we have gone beyond the point that Alhaji Tanko is in the country. He is still at the level of stating the obvious, the problems, and trying to pass political blames. No, we have gone beyond that point in this country. Solutions, pragmatic solutions between government, the governed, and everybody. That is the level we are now. Yes, talking of those allegations, I hear them, I see videos, people that you think should know, people that you think are well educated, people that you think should be large-minded enough, still operating from small prisms of ethnic consciousness and making wild allegations about security in the country. They are not helping the situation, but it's a democracy. They can say whatever they want to say. It doesn't mean that what they are saying is founded on truth. But they should realize that when they make those wild allegations, those things are not good for the country. Those who are working on security are working, and we should all team up with them so that we can find solutions to these serious plagues in the country.
So when the issue was raised by Alhaji Tanko, looking at how much has been spent in the last 5 years under this government in tackling insecurity in the country, and the result we have seen so far, how would you say that we have come in terms of that comparison, the result, and how much has been put into fighting insecurity in Nigeria, Mr. Adesina?
Yes, I really wonder where Alhaji Tanko got his statistics from. Because to the best of my knowledge, I don't think that is in the public domain. When he came up with that figure, I was baffled. Because that figure is not founded on any official statement. I don't know where he got his figure from. Today at the security meeting, a lot was said about procurement, and most of the security agencies did not complain of equipment. Yes, additional equipment are coming in from Jordan, from China, from United States, but the complaint was not majorly about equipment. The military is well equipped.
But would you say that the result justifies the spending on insecurity in Nigeria under the government of President Buhari? Has it been justified, the result we have seen so far?
Yes, I'll say that nothing spent on security is ever too much, because every other thing revolves around security. Development revolves around security. Healthcare, education, economy, everything revolves around security. So there's no amount you spend on security that is ever too much. But that does not mean that you also begin to waste resources or misallocate resources or misappropriate them. Resources must be well utilized.
Let's ask Air Commodore Abdullahi. The president raised a very vital issue, and is the issue of the small weapons. He said that some of these insurgents are being diffused and they are everywhere, but they still have light weapons. Where are these light weapons coming from? Where are they being funded? And how can we mop them up? You're talking about solution now. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, thank you very much. The issue of proliferation of small arms and light weapons is not new. It's been there for quite a long time. And it became worse with the looting of the armories in the Middle East, following a lot of incidences that happened in that region. Most of those weapons that were stolen from the armories there found their way into countries with very porous borders like ours. And like we keep saying, these weapons became so cheap that a lot of people were finding their way, procuring them, and they got into so many hands, and they're being misused. Of course, that was why they bought them. But we need to do a lot, and that was why I said we need to free the armed forces to concentrate on those areas, like protecting the borders of this country, preventing these arms from coming in, blocking all those area loopholes, that are through which all these weapons are coming. Even then, we also know that some of the weapons coming through the seaports, the airports, and so on, we've seen lots of them being picked up by the Customs Service, and Nigeria Customs Service, and so on. So we need to intensify efforts to block all those avenues through which all those weapons come into this.
All right. So, Commodore, let me allow Alhaji Tanko Unisa
and cheaper.
All right. Let me allow Alhaji Tanko Unisa to come into the conversation. So you heard what Mr. Adesina said, Alhaji Unisa. How do you react to it? And what are the solutions that you are talking about? Because your group, NCF, is talking about alternative to leadership in politics and governance in Nigeria. From what Mr. Adesina said, your reaction?
Truth. We have a president that's been associated with telling the truth and integrity. One of the things that is disbelieving to us is the way in which the people in government communicate with the people. The government has been associated through some of the spokespersons with telling people unconfirmed or lies. Let me use that word, because we cannot confirm anything that you are telling the Nigerian people, and so they are disillusioned. At the moment now, you can even refer to what Gardiner Abba said. This situation is becoming helpless, hopeless, and headless. And the situation is this. If Mr. Shishino is discarding what I said as regard to my book, you can Google it on Wikipedia, you can see, and I'm willing to share these particular data with you. Then let's even take it from that. Why don't you give us the accurate figure of what has been spent for this for security in this country at the moment? Let Nigerians be aware and can confirm what we are saying that we have spent for security in Nigeria. It is not good that when we have a government that rode on propaganda, a government that rode on telling people some of the mistakes of the past and promising Nigerians that they are going to fulfill them, and finding it difficult now to even put the right peg in the right hole. These were promises that were made long before this election. And I want to say clearly, Nigerians are ridiculously patient for the fact that they have been patient with this government for the past 5 to 6 years coming now, and nothing that they have promised that have been adequately provided for them. So what is wrong with when I act like a politician? I'm happy that you are defending the interest of the government, which of course we're rightly doing. So we as politicians, we must come out with those particular mistakes that you are doing as an even free consultancy for you to take corrections. Don't deny them, but take correction. Just like as you are trying to provide solution, we would suggest to you that the morale of the Nigerian army and other security agencies in Nigeria are almost dead. We read it in the papers that some of them are also committing mutiny. We read it in the papers when people are saying that they are jumping from one place to another. They are no more interested in the Nigerian army because they have been given standard weapons.
Yeah.
Now you are responding to that. We are suggesting also that we must take care of the morale of the interest of the Nigerian army so that they can perform. We have gallant soldiers who have performed exceedingly well inside and outside this country, and we must continue to give them hope. But now they are helpless, they are headless, and they are disillusioned.
Alhaji Yunusa, because we need to close the program now, in 10 seconds, if there is one solution to fixing insecurity in the country, what would that be?
The unity of this country is paramount. Nigerian people feel annihilated in different parts of this country. We must get the head of every Nigerian together to work as a team. As of today, we are not working as a team. So people cannot even give you the solution to the problem because they are angry. And they are angry because some of the things that they have been saying to Nigerian government, they are not listening. Rather than listening and solving their problem, we are giving them, calling them names and disenfranchising them completely from the Nigerian nation. We must get everybody together, and the leadership must show that clear example, not carrying people from only
we are obviously out of time
and thinking that probably those solutions can be solved.
All right, we're out of time, but one quick assignment that I need to answer right now is the fact that what are the true figures? If Mr. Adesina said those figures are not accurate, Mr. Adesina, we have just about 20 seconds to close the program. Could you give us the accurate figure? And on the final note, if you can share your thoughts just within those time frame, what would you be telling Nigerians, families of those who have lost dear ones in southern Kaduna, in some part of the northeastern region of the country? What would you tell them for them to believe this government in its fight against insecurity?
Thank you. About the figures, they can only come from one source. That is the Office of the National Security Advisor, because that should be the coordinating office for all security efforts in the country. It's that office that can tell you this has been spent so far by the different services.
Right.
Then, on those who have lost people, very sad, very regrettable, very, very sad. Losing one life is too many in the country. No life should be lost wantonly.
I must sincerely thank the panel tonight on the program. Many thanks for coming on tonight. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. Bye-bye.